Hello everyone! Gaara here. Welcome to a brand new video. I'm so excited to actually make videos again. I finally got my video editing program. But not just that, I was traveling this whole month and I was barely home. I was home for I think just 2 days this month, and I'm so happy to finally be back and start making videos again and also stream regularly. So unfortunately I didn't get my visa for Insomnia through Silver Championship. It got declined. I'm a bit sad about that, but nonetheless, yeah, the Karazhan expansion just came out and we are currently at the third wing, and I was testing many new decks, and basically a lot of the preparation for previous tournaments, especially the preliminaries, wasn't really in vain, at least so far, because I think that's a lot of the tier 1 decks, or tier 2, tier 1.5 maybe now with the new cards included, are still extremely powerful. And today I'm gonna talk about my Khatoon Warrior deck. I've been using Khatoon Warrior for climbing to top 50 legend in many of the past 6 seasons, many times. I think 3 times or so I used it to get to top 100 / top 50. It's my favorite warrior type, and I also used it at the preliminaries. And right now with the new cards, the new warrior cards that we have are actually not too many. We have Fool's Bane and the chess piece. The chess pieces protect the king. Those are the warrior cards. So let's go over the old list that I used. So I'm super excited to tell you like the changes I would do to my Khatoon Warrior deck with the new cards. I don't think that the last wing will change too much. So what did I have? I have basically, yeah, I will just leave this deck list like this. So yeah, from the new cards that we have, none of these cards seem too appealing for Khatoon Warrior. Curator is something that we cannot play. We cannot fit in any Murloc. Murloc just seems super bad. I mean, I'm talking about this card because this card is extremely powerful, and like compared to those other cards, like those cards are just bad for Warrior. Warrior doesn't run secrets and so forth, no totems. And not totems, like, I mean, just Beast Dragon, whatever. Irrelevant. This card is powerful, but we cannot run this card because we don't have dragons or beasts or any of that type, so that's like a no-brainer to include this. And we don't really want like one drop that synergizes with spells and all those other cards. Barnes is also another card that absolutely doesn't fit in Khatoon Warrior because we have those mostly Battlecry minions with no effect if you pull them out from Barnes. So one of the most powerful cards, if not the most powerful card from the expansion, is also relevant for Khatoon Warrior. So all we can look at is, or are the 2 class cards, Fool's Bane and Protect the King. And Protect the King is just a very weak whirlwind basically. Those pawns don't have charge, so they don't really do too much. I think Revenge kinda does the same, just better, costs less mana. I mean, it's basically a synergy card with Bolster, but yeah, we would not run Bolster ever in Khatoon Warrior, so it's just Fool's Bane. But Fool's Bane is a very interesting card, and I think it's a very powerful card, and you can utilize, I mean, the drawback from Fool's Bane is you will take a lot of phase damage. Like, you have to use your life as a resource a lot if you wanna get value out of this card. I mean, you can not go phase, so basically it means you can only smack minions, and if you attack on average minions that have 3 attack or more, it's like the average, so you take 12 damage while using up the charges of Fool's Bane, at least. So that's a lot, right? To get value and take 12 damage in the process, that's a lot. But we used to also run Gorehal already in Khatoon Warrior, and with Gorehal we would take way more than just 12 phase damage, but we get an insane amount of value and it's very powerful. Another drawback is it's super weak to Harrison Jones. Obviously, it's kind of like a mini Doomhammer. If you would equip Fool's Bane and pass, the opponent draws 4 cards. It's insane. But right now, not too many people are running Harrison Jones. On ladder at least, maybe because of the just people are testing a lot of decks, a lot of tempo mages, druids, and so Harrison. Popularity of warrior this month or the last 2 or 3 weeks went down by a lot, just because I think mainly because people are just testing out decks and having fun. It will come back for sure, because warriors should still be like one of the best 2 classes or 3 classes. Hard to say warrior is still the strongest class right now, just because of the meta changing right now. For me right now, warrior is still kind of the best. Maybe, yeah, top 2, top 3. As I said, tough to say. It's very, very powerful still, but few people are playing it on ladder for whatever reason. And so yeah, Fool's Bane. I think Fool's Bane fits very well. I was playing 2, but I think you still want to run Gore Howl over the second Fool's Bane. So for the second Fool's Bane, there's really not much you can cut except the Gore Howl, and Gore Howl just seems stronger. The reason why I like Fool's Bane in Khatoon Warrior especially is because from all the warrior archetypes, you have by far the most health gain in Khatoon Warrior. Because of Ancient Shield Bearer. Ancient Shield Bearer is like the best heal card in the game by far. It's like not even close. The second best one is the Priest Khatoon card, but Khatoon Priest is just so weak compared to... and you don't have like the weapon to utilize the heal. And armor is just so much better than healing. So yeah, Shield Bearer is just the MVP of the deck, and it really helps you utilize those weapons and get advantage, like card advantage. What are the changes? I used to run Revenge. Let's go over the upsides of Fool's Bane. Because this is the main card in the deck, as you can see, I still run the double execute, double slams, pretty core. The Beaconer, I decided to always run 2 Beaconers over the 2 Khatoons chosen, because they're less clunky, and you really want to hard mulligan for play on turn 2 against those aggressive decks, because you will win late game against them always. So, but you really want to get those Khatoon buffers early, or just the War Axe, right? Just mulligan for Beaconer or War Axe seems pretty nice, and if you get the slam, that's good too most of the time. So just like the consistency to have something to do on turn 2 that is not armor up and pass. Yeah, you have to get those double Khatoon buffers out as soon as possible to get those strong Khatoon cards on the board with the effect activated, Ancient Shield Bearer and Twin Emperor. So Beacon is also the cheapest one, so I always like to play that. Rorex, no brainer, win X against aggressive decks. Double Revenge. Now I used to run Revenge because of Zoo mainly. It's also pretty good against Hunter. I included 2 now. I think that Revenge is extremely good with Fool's Bane. Very good synergy, because you can really chop down your own health pool pretty quickly. Sometimes people play around Revenge, which is obviously pretty good, and if you don't have the Vorex, you cannot get yourself in those critical health range, and Fool's Bane really helps you with doing that. And if you're around 12, that's still safe as a warrior because you have armor up, and if you still have like some Fool's Bane charges, you should have some armor up spells or just hero power afterwards, or just cheap removal with the executes. So it is very, not super mega easy to stabilize, but most of the time it will stabilize even if you're going down to that critical range. So I think with the Fool's Bane, the second Revenge gets much more appealing, and this buffs the deck much more against aggressive decks like Shaman, Zoo, and Hunter. Hunter got much more popular now, and Hunter was one of the worst matchups for Khatoon Warrior, and it's surprisingly the matchup got much better because the 2-drop doesn't apply a lot of pressure. I will maybe go over this a little bit more when I play the games and face some Hunters. But yeah, Revenge is super strong. If you go down to 12 life and AoE for free, clears any board most of the time from any mid-range / aggressive deck, and also against Druids it's really good. And another big upside is it's not random like Brawl, and I will talk about this in a bit, that I only play 1 Brawl. So double slam, pretty standard. 1 Acolyte. I need 1 draw mechanic. I really noticed this. You oftentimes have those games you just run out of cards if you draw those super weak Khatoon buffers like Beaconers and Revenge. It's like those cards don't trade usually. Against control decks, they don't trade 1 for 1. And then you just run out of cards. You kind of need Acolyte. I've tested so many different card draw cards, like Loot Hoarders and Thanos and everything that exists in a game, and Acolyte just seems to be the best one, even though you don't have like almost no synergy in the deck with the Acolyte. Brun, I'm running right now the Brun over the second Brawl. I'm not sure if I will change that, because in this deck I could actually include a second Brawl on top of 2 Revenges, which is super good against aggressive decks. Like, this is as much as you can tech basically. But for now, I don't like Brawl in a lot of cases. First of all, it's RNG, you have to be very far behind on the board, and then you can still lose the Brawl always. And so right now I like the Brun, so you have something else to play on turn 3 that is not the Acolyte, and it's basically a semi-Katoon buffer as well. If you play like Brun, Disciple of Katoon, so you get more charges, get your Katoon activators out faster and all that stuff. So Brun is definitely not bad in any Katoon deck. So this is, I'm not sure. For now I play that Brun over Brawl. I think with the double revenge it should be fine as well. But if I would face too many shamans, then I would probably include Brawl, because that's like the main matchup where you want the Brawl. Disciple, pretty standard, Ravaging Ghoul and shield blocks. 1 Katoon's Chosen. I recently went down. The first 2 months of Katoon Warrior I played double Katoon's Chosen, but it turned out to be like very clunky oftentimes. So, and I don't think you need that. You want to cut as many Katoon buffers as possible. Just want to play the bare minimum, because those cards are really weak. But you need to have the maximum amount for consistency to get those Katoon activators activated, not without the Katoon buffers before. So just 1 Katoon's Chosen, 1 Brawl, Fool's Bane, a new inclusion. It's a very powerful weapon, and weapons in general are super strong. And if you compare it to the old Warrior, 4 weapons are fine. Like, you used to run double Death by, double Borax in so many, almost any Warrior list. I think every Warrior list had the double Death by, double Borax, which are 4 weapons, and some decks had like a Gaara on top of that, and then 5 weapons really seem to be too much. Very often you don't want to draw too many weapons, but 4 weapons seem fine. So 1 Fool's Bane and the super strong Gaara. Justicar, Sylvanas, very core cards. Justicar, extremely powerful for late game against any control deck. Sylvanas, the same basically against Priest, because now the popularity of Priest is rising, just because people like playing it. So many streamers are playing it. I think that is the main reason, and people are just trying it out themselves. Sylvanas, don't ever play it on the board, they will just entomb it. So Sylvanas Shield Slam, just steal something. Ancient Shield Bearer, my favorite card. It's probably my favorite card of Whispers of the Old Gods. I just love that card. Gorehowl goes so well with all the armor gain. Twin Emperor Wecklaw, it's a super strong 7-drop. And Katoon. Katoon very often just used as a finisher against other control decks, not just played on the board. If you bait out removals, like let's say against a Priest, like in Tombs and Deaths, I would sometimes just go for a risk for reward play. If I feel like he doesn't have another removal, then I would just play the Katoon. So this is my new Katoon Warrior deck. Not too many changes. Basically the second Revenge, 1 Brawl, Fool's Bane. I don't think I will change it too much. I will just play this, and I will also show you some games later on Ladder. Hope you guys like it, and it's awesome to be back. See you guys in the next video.